thoughts, opinions, and general overall shades thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your host, Jason Beck, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us. Good morning, Michael. Yes, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, October 28th. And today is, it's National First Responders Day today, you guys. Shout out to all the first responders. Yes, big round. That's one thing we can all agree on. We all support our first responders over here, without a doubt. It's also National Internal Medicine Day.
As opposed to the external medicine.
Yes, you know, because you know, it starts with a change from within, Todd.
Oh. Very good.
Yeah, we're getting ready. It's also National Chocolate Day today, you guys.
I
love chocolate. Well, anyways, thank you.
What's not to love about chocolate?
Hey, you know, I don't know. I'm sure there's some chocolate haters out there, though.
Chocolate holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up.
Oh,
chocolate
holiday coming up. What do you? Oh, Halloween.
Halloween.
I was like Valentine's Day is far away. Anyways, thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. You can look up above and down below to see exactly where we live on the internet. And we are live every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, X, Instagram, Facebook, Kick, as well as on our very own website at www.highat9news.com. So welcome to everyone joining us from any one of those platforms. And man, do I have an interesting study for you guys today, because a study, they say 1 in 5 young adults using marijuana and alcohol to fall asleep. You guys, look at that. And they're not talking about scope or Listerine. Because struggling to fall asleep, many young adults are reaching for marijuana or alcohol at bedtime, a University of Michigan study found. University of Michigan's annual Monitoring the Future Panel study found that 22% of adults between the ages of 19 and 30 used either cannabis, alcohol, or both to sleep. Shout out to the crossfade. Of the two, marijuana was more common, with 18% using the drug to fall asleep compared to 7% of participants who used alcohol. And while advocates say cannabis can be a low-risk alternative to sleep medications, using drugs or alcohol for sleep could backfire because they can interfere with the ability to stay asleep and with the quality of sleep, they say, said Megan Patrick, a research professor at the Institute for Social Research at University of Michigan. In a quote, she says, "They appear to actually disrupt sleep in the long term. The fact that so many young adults reported that they use cannabis to sleep is alarming. Sleep deprivation, or the lack of sleep, is a common condition that many Americans experience, and according to a study published in the National Library of Medicine, it is generally recommended that adults get between 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night." That's a lot. If not, it can lead to excessive daytime sleepiness. Factors like excessive screen time before bed can prevent the brain from releasing melatonin, the sleep hormone, and people who work in early morning or late night shifts tend to have a harder time falling asleep and generally get fewer hours of sleep, according to the study. They say, "Unfortunately, there is a misconception that substance use can be helpful for sleep problems, but it can make things worse. Patrick said. High-quality sleep is critical for mental health and regulating mood. Young adults told us that they are using cannabis to try to get sleep, but doing so may make their sleep problems even worse. They need to know the potential risks. But cannabis as a sleep aid, because while medical experts warn that relying on substances to sleep can increase the risk of dependency or substance abuse, cannabis advocates argue that when used responsibly and in the right doses, the drug can offer real benefits for those struggling to fall asleep naturally. Cannabis has become more widely accepted in recent years, particularly for its medical benefits, and Michigan voters approved a measure to legalize adult use cannabis back in medical cannabis in 2008, and later approved adult use cannabis 10 years later in 2018. A 2023 study published by the National Library of Medicine found that participants who used cannabis were able to reduce or completely stop prescription medication to help aid them with sleep. And in a quote, they say, "Well, we sell thousands of packs of sleep gummies every week. I didn't realize how many people had sleep problems," said Jerry Milnen, owner of Greenhouse Dispensary in Willard Lake. "A lot of seniors can sleep, and a lot of young people now are stressed out, and they can't sleep either." The study found that cannabis that contains low levels of THC, a psychoactive cannabinoid that can produce relieving, sedative, or euphoric effects, can help ease falling asleep and increase lower sleep time. Cannabis that contains a higher concentration of CBD, a non-psychoactive cannabinoid, can have a sedating effect, while a lower dosage can actually have a stimulating effect. And a quote, "People are getting off opiates with cannabis. People are replacing alcohol with cannabis," Millen said. "If you have a vice and you want to abuse something, I suggest you use cannabis." Well, they are practicing good sleep hygiene, because the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends that adults get at least 7 hours of sleep each night. And getting good quality sleep can decrease the number of times you get sick, maintain healthy weight, reduce stress, and improve your heart health and metabolism. And the CDC offers several recommendations for getting better or more restful sleep. They say going to bed and getting up at the same time every day, keeping your bedroom quiet, relaxing, and at a cool temperature, turning off electric devices at least 30 minutes before bedtime, and avoiding large meals and alcohol before bedtime, and avoiding caffeine in the afternoon or evening. Well, those may be some helpful tips, but I just wonder, so I'm not sure. Caffeine, coffee in the afternoon, I'm not too sure about that one. I mean, I drink coffee all day, but I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this. I'll stop drinking coffee around like 6 o'clock and have no problem going to sleep at like 9 or 10.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Do you sleep through the night?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And
they say using cannabis, when I say they, there's this neurologist, Matthew Walker. He's a very famous sleep expert.
Yeah.
And he says the problem with using marijuana to go to sleep is that you don't get your REM sleep, and you only get it's more of a sedation than it is your REM sleep. So even though you are sleeping, it's not really good for the regeneration of your body and your brain and all of that.
I'm not too sure about that. I respect this guy's opinion. I'm not too sure about that. But what I can tell you about using cannabis and sleeping is that cannabis is a dream suppressor. And so you don't generally have dreams when you're using cannabis on a regular basis.
It's because you're not in the REM sleep. I mean, when you're in REM sleep is when you dream.
I don't know.
And that's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, so are you saying I just proved your point?
You did, even though you disagreed with it.
It's like my brother and sister.
Yeah.
So, the interesting thing is are we talking about smoking versus edibles?
Mm-hmm.
Versus taking RSO?
I
think that's a difference as to the quality of sleep and your restfulness. I think you may wake up a little bit groggy, kind of like overdo it on RSO or edibles. But
I've had edibles give me a weed over.
Sleep and don't wake up.
Yeah, I've had edibles give me a weed over a number of times. Like you just wake up like super groggy, like you're just like, oh man, I can't even get up. Like this is not the business. And so I don't even touch edibles. I just stay far away. I give them away.
Yeah, I take edibles to sleep. A couple gummies literally puts me out.
Really?
I take 2 of them, and I just fall out. And I do that because even though I know it's sedation and not sleep, I just need the sleep. And I'm a bad sleeper. I always say I haven't slept in 25 years. But not sleeping is very unhealthy.
Yeah,
it is literally the most healthy thing you could do for you.
You know, I love sleeping. My bed is super comfortable. My sheets are super comfortable. I'm always excited when it's time for bed to, get ready and start a whole new day.
Beware, you have silk jammies, or do you have?
We're not going to go into all that, Todd. That's for a whole nother show. You know what I mean? That's our late night edition.
I don't know. You were bringing it up. You're talking about your sheets and.
Oh, bro, my sheets are amazing, Todd. It's fantastic. It's have probably some.
If they don't go well with your silk pajamas or your cotton pajamas,
Let me tell you something, bro. I have the best sheets in the world, Todd. The best sheets
in the world.
Yes.
What's your thread count?
It's high, bro. Egyptian? Higher than me.
Wow.
Yes. And keep my thread. Sometimes the thread count is so high I can't even count that high, Todd. That's how high it is.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yes. Yeah.
Where do you buy these alleged sheets that you keep on?
Oh, I got a connection. I can hook you up, Todd. You just let me know. You know what I mean? They're not cheap though.
Yeah, for sure.
They're not cheap, but they're worth it. What's that, Michael?
They come over in speedboats.
Oh man, you're funny. Yeah, but it's funny because they say 7 to 9. I've always heard like 6 to 8, and now these people are saying 7 to 9. I wonder if it's because they're in Michigan and because they're a little higher in the hemisphere, on top of the fact that they get terrible weather over there, and so it makes more sense to sleep that extra hour.
Bedrooms are cool, naturally.
Yeah, but I did also too like how they said, as a good sleep tip to keep your room cool. I mean, I like a good 68 degrees when I sleep.
Yeah, I keep my air at 70 in my house, but yeah, when it's cool outside, which is often the case in Michigan.
Yeah,
it's easier. They say you sleep better when it's cold. Also,
I agree with that. You know what I mean? I'd rather just bundle up in the blankets, let it be ice buckets, cold. You know what I'm saying, in the room, and have no problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the business. But one other thing before we move on, Todd. I could not let this go, especially because I got you here today.
They're Democratic sheets. There's difference between Democratic sheets.
Somewhat, Well, I just wanted to just throw out there, the boss. He's a machine. He only sleeps 4 hours a day. 4 hours a night.
That's why he's demented. That's why he's got dementia, because his brain is rotting.
Stop it. That's why he's so productive and getting everything done and making you lose your mind all the time.
So productive. He's fucking walking in circles and playing golf.
Oh, man. Sorry, I couldn't help myself, Todd. I just couldn't help myself with that one. Well,
it makes total sense. He's got dementia and he can't think properly.
No, bro. Joe Biden had dementia.
He can't.
Trump is 100% coherent. He knows exactly what he's doing all the time, every time. Yes.
One thing they are is old.
He's your lover that you protect him so. He's
the greatest.
Don't talk
president.
about my lover like that.
He's the greatest president of all time, Todd. Greatest president of all time. Just is what it is. He's the GOAT. But nonetheless, I have a story. Just
rating of about like 20%. But yeah, he's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT. I have a story that's right up your alley, though, Todd. I think you're going to enjoy this because
I can't wait.
Yep. Because Maine, that's right, they issue a recall for cannabis vapes due to unsafe pesticide levels, you guys. That's right. The Maine Office of Cannabis Policy has issued a health and safety recall for a cannabis vape due to unsafe pesticide levels. The recall is for Yanni adult use vape cartridges of the strain Watermelon Chimeria. The affected products were produced by Norco Outdoor Cannabis and sold at 21 adult-use retail stores located in Auburn, Augusta, Bangor, Bethel, Krasselbelt Valley, Chelsea, Damariscotta, Elliott, Fairfield, Guilford, Lewiston, Milo, Peru, Portland, Pisqueque Isle, Rockland, Scranton, Thomaston, and Waterville. The following investigation into a consumer complaint about an adverse health reaction, the Maine Office of Cannabis Policy says the cartridges were found to have unsafe levels of the pesticide chlorophenol, CHLORFENAPYR, chlorophenapyr. Is that right, Todd?
That sounds about right.
Chlorophenapyr, okay. Inhaling cannabis containing unsafe levels of chlorophenapyr can lead to high fever, sweating, nausea, vomiting, and or altered mental status, Todd. Consumers who purchase these products should return them to the retailer or dispose of them, and any consumer who has ingested these products and is experiencing symptoms or adverse reactions should contact a healthcare provider immediately or dial 911 if there is a medical emergency. All adult use cannabis is required to have a label affixed to the package that indicates the product's batch number, and consumers should check the label of their vape products for the batch number listed below of the product information. The recall affects the following products sold in Maine between July 10th, 2025 and October 16th, 2025 at the following adult use retail store locations. Well, I'm not going to read all those retail store locations because, if you want to, you can read them off of our website at www.highat9news.com. But I'm not going to mention all of those stores, but nonetheless. But the strain name is Watermelon Chimera, and the product type is a 0.5 gram live resin vape cartridge and 1 gram live resin vape cartridge. And the batch number, just so you guys know, is 1A403000614500000111115. And the date sold.
Okay, so what was that? That was 10.
We have to post that for our consumers.
Yes. It'll be on our website, Michael. This will all be on our website. But again, that number again, since Todd wants a repeat, is 1A4030006145000001115. Does that sound like the automated response for you, Todd?
It was great.
No, but I just lost count at the first 8.
Hey, fair enough. Fair enough.
That again at 8.
There's not even an 8 in there, Todd. But that's cute.
Explains it.
Yep. The dates sold were July 10th, 2025 through October 16th of 2025. And man, clenonepher, Todd, tell us about this. Why is it so bad? Because it sounds like all it does is gives people the thought that they have CUD, cannabis use disorder. Because all it said was like they sweat, they vomit, and you know what I'm saying?
Well, smoking any pesticides not good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
They can be carcinogenic. It's literally poison, right? And that's why cannabis laws are so strict around the country. And the list in California is over 60 pesticides. They're on the pesticide list. In Nevada, it's 23. But anything with a serious amount of pesticides on it, you should not be investing, certainly into your lungs.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
But they should look at, they really should look at the half-life of this pesticide to see when it actually dissipates. So if they use it, X time, they have 6 months or 8 months or whatever it is for it to finally dissipate. But each pesticide has a half-life like that. So that should be considered. But if we found out actually, we don't even look for that in Nevada. If we found something that we didn't know what it was, but it was a pesticide, that would be hello.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, we want to keep people safe. I thought, this is a statewide recall. We don't cover them a lot of times, but this, just felt like people may need to know about this one today.
Yeah, we very rarely get pesticide fails. In the early days, everybody was using them until they have to throw away 5 pounds or 10 pounds or 15.
Oh man,
right.
But this thing has been being sold.
Oh,
this thing has been being sold since July. I can't believe they haven't sold through all their product yet, Todd.
Yeah, that's true too. It must not be such good weed. Honestly, anything with the name watermelon in it. How good can it be? I like my weed to taste like weed.
You don't
not
like
random fruits.
You don't like watermelon terps?
I don't like watermelon weed. No, I like watermelon, but I don't like watermelon weed.
Todd doesn't like melons with his weed, Michael.
Oh, I don't like my weed to taste like watermelon. I like my weed to taste like weed.
Oh man,
I want it wet and soggy.
Any final thoughts on this, Michael, before we move on?
Not really. It's why.
All right,
we have regulations, but it just shows
that's why testing is so important.
Enough.
Yeah.
They talk about the
doing enough.
Did they talk about the testing lab that passed it when it shouldn't have been passed?
They did not. They did not mention the lab. Maybe they're going to do an investigation, Todd. What do you think? What do you think, Michael? You were just saying something. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no? Hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was just saying the regulations, all those, they seem so strict if they're not actually checking on them and enforcing them, they don't do anything.
Yeah. Interesting enough. Well, we are going to roll right into Mr. Michael Minardi. He's the founder of Minardi Law out in the great red state of Florida. He's been helping cannabis advocates, cannabis patients, cannabis consumers, as well as the hemp industry navigate the complex legalities that is Florida cannabis. He also represents all types of other businesses and can help you out too if you need some help. So check him out. He is at none other than Minardi Law in the great red state of Florida. It is Mr. Michael Minardi.
Good morning to everyone on the West Coast. Happy high noon on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So, we got a fun one today, I think. It's how high-tech dab rigs are shaping the cannabis industry. Dabbing used to mean dangerous butane torches, messy, sticky tools, and overheated needles that scorched your throat before you could taste the cannabis concentrate. Today, thanks to Bluetooth-enabled smart rigs and other connected hardware that offer a sleek app-driven experience, dabbing feels more like a Nest thermostat than a DIY science project. For retailers in the $32 billion cannabis industry, next-generation cannabis hardware is encouraging a once niche market to become a profitable growth industry. In an industry chasing profit and bigger margins, these connected devices show how innovation can reshape both product value and brand perception. The maturation and mainstreaming of high-tech cannabis dabbing. Global cannabis vaporizer market at $5.05 billion in 2024 and is projected to almost double to $9.85 billion by 2029. Sleek, portable, and tech-packed smart rigs mean dabbing is less fringe curiosity and more a modern wellness luxury crossover that demonstrates how cannabis culture continues to merge with consumer tech. With each hit tracked and turned, dabbing has entered its customization era. This shift mirrors broader personalization trend where AI-assisted applications track users' preferences. As consumers take control of flavor, potency of vapor density, their expectations are reshaping what the high-end shelf retailers looks for retailers. As brand reposition around design, consumers are providing they'll pay for elevated experiences. From torches to touchscreen, the dab rig evolution. The new generation of e-rigs reads more like a spec sheet than a smoke shop. Top of the pyramid, according to this article, is the Puffco Peak Pro 3D XL. It has a 3D chamber, ensures even vaporization, while app-controlled temperature settings let users dial in their perfect session down to the degree. The Daybreak limited edition is durable and designed to look as good as it performs. There's the Focus V Carta 2, a Bluetooth-enabled powerhouse that fits comfortably in your hand. Bright organic light emitting diode LED, customizable heat profiles, and a 360 heating trimmer delivers flavorful vapor rivaling desktop setups. Then there's the Dr. Dabber Switch 2, which builds on its induction heating legacy with lightning-fast transitions between flower concentrates. Its all-glass vapor path and touch-responsive interface make it ideal for those who crave clean flavor and easy adaptability. For flavor purists, the Utilian 8 lives up to its nickname as a flavor-first beast, ceramic heating element, and temperature management preserves for a smoother future hit. It's the proof that ingenuity doesn't have to mean complexity. Why does the digital revolution matter for the cannabis industry? Because tech-driven rigs emphasize safety, consistency, and quality over intensity. They've demystified and destigmatized the practice, making it more approachable as well as aspirational. Consumers are drawn to customizable smoking devices, whether it's the portable e-rig they take anywhere or a touchscreen tabletop setup. For retailers and brands, smart rigs are expanding the high-end shelf, giving dispensaries a premium product line that pairs easily with concentrates and accessories. Manufacturers differentiating through innovative visual design, user experience, and practical improvements, like battery technology to capture a shape and share an increasingly tech-savvy audience that's willing to spend more for reliability and performance. They aren't cheap, but compared to proprietary components and can make pairs replacement tricky as well. But for consumers, it's less about price and more about predictability and convenience for the daily life. Dabbing's gone digital. Once an elemental fire and flame process, digital dabbing is guided by mood, color, and connectivity. Smart Rig Revolution proves that cannabis culture is setting a new standard for what modern consumers expect and what forward-thinking retailers can deliver to accommodate them. So, not a huge dabber my time. I know there's tons of rigs out there, but what do you guys think? You guys dabbing a lot? Jason?
Yeah, I don't dab either. I think dabbing is funny. I was interviewing Tommy Chong one time. It was a guy, and we asked him about what he thought about dabbing. And he goes, anytime you're using a torch, man, it's probably not too safe. It was pretty funny.
That's funny.
Whether you're welding or whether you're dabbing, I'm sure it's both pretty bad. I always call dabs pot crack, right?
Pot crack. Interesting.
Highly concentrated, THC that, consumption is you get way more high.
Well, here's the thing. I remember when, it was the saying with dabs was, red means glow, and and everybody would take glowy hits and whatnot, in the beginning, and like people were dabbing like the darkest hash, and oh man, it was pretty rough. But the dab industry has really, really, really evolved and really made it very, very, very user friendly. A lot of these devices can fit in your cup holders in your car and whatnot, and so it's super user friendly. I think overall, and because I always used to think that the hardest part of dabbing is the fact that like you have to be somewhere, you have to have your expensive rig and your expensive nail.
Right.
And then you need your dabber tool, which is expensive too, and then you have your expensive hash, and so it's like it's not cheap to be a dabber by any means at all. And I think that these electronic devices really kind of made it more affordable and more mainstream for people that want to consume cannabis in that way. I do think that it's interesting because the vapor molecules from concentrates are much smaller than because they say that you're not supposed to hold, everybody would say with cannabis, hold it in, and if you don't cough, you don't get off and whatnot. But with these vapor molecules from dabbing, you don't want to hold that in. You want to inhale it in and blow it out right away, because those molecules are actually smaller than smoke molecules, and they can get like stuck in like special crevices in your lungs, and that ultimately isn't good. So you want to be mindful with how you do consume these types of products and whatnot. But there's a whole big dabber craze, dabber movement. And I mean, even in the beginning of dabbing, there's all the kids were wearing T-shirts as like no pre-run. They just started calling flower pre-run. And which I thought was very, very, very funny, very cute. You know what I mean? And it almost like started to like create like this division, like this Republican Democrat division within the cannabis space. Like, oh, bro, you smoke flower? Oh man, I can never talk to you again. It's dabs only, bro. Dabs only. And there was a lot of the little, kids that were running around like that back then. But it was.
We did a study. We did a study back in 2018 with a big name dabber, nameless. And what we found in our study, well, basically we wanted to determine, how much THC you were ingesting, from a dab. What we found was that because of exactly what you just said, right, is your lungs can only hold so much, right? Your lungs are only about this big.
Yeah.
Right. And they can only hold so much, mass of anything, especially smoke.
Mm-hmm.
And to hold it in your lungs, first of all, is completely dangerous. I agree with you there. The truth is that as soon as the smoke passes your esophagus, that's when it enters your bloodstream. So it doesn't have to stay. You don't have to hold it in order to, get higher.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the dab rig goes, we found that it was really a waste of product, right? Because you have to heat up, the dab itself,
yeah,
right? And you never have it perfect, right? You overheat it. You only can take so much, and then the rest burns off.
Yeah,
right. So not only is it a highly concentrated, version of cannabis, but it's more expensive than cannabis because it's highly concentrated, right? So you're not even able to smoke it all because a lot of it goes away. Also, we found that of the 100%, of smoke that's created from the dab, about 27% what ends up in your lungs.
Mm-hmm.
So there's, almost a 70% or a little over 70% loss, right, of just smoke going in the bong, in the rig, in the air, right? Because your lungs, like I said, are only this big.
They're only so big.
But we found it interesting that overall, as a consumer, it's with these new rigs and with these new, electric heaters and with all of this stuff, right? I'm sure there's a little less waste, than using a torch. But again, you can only inhale so much. And then it just stops.
Go ahead, Michael, please.
I was going to say, I think at this point, there's little to no waste in most of the dab rigs. Any of the new ones you buy usually have a capper, so it goes on top of the bowl, so all the smoke stays in. Or especially some of the e-nails and the little handheld vaporizers, you're just kind of hitting it and just burning that little bit that's there. So I think that they have definitely a lot of I don't know. I can't remember the last time I saw someone be using a torch with a rig. Honestly, everyone has either an e-nail or the little handhelds, or they make some that look like a pipe.
Mm-hmm.
Not the old school dabbers, Michael. Come on, the old school dabbers using a torch.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm a fan of the torch.
They're far and few behind.
I'm a big fan of the torch. I prefer the torch. I think the torch is the best.
Torch.
It's very nostalgic, Todd. You know what I mean? When you use a torch, to consume your cannabis, it's always great when you go out to like high-end restaurants and they bust out a torch for like your creme brulee, or you know what I mean? I just get very excited and I'm like, oh yeah, like bust out the rigs, it's torch time. You know what I mean? Like my mind always goes there immediately, and it used to always happen, Todd. Oh man, used to be the best. At Trump International Hotel in DC, they used to have these fat strips of bacon, bro. Like they were like that fat, Todd. Fat. And they would be hanging on this thing, 3 or 4, 6 skewers of bacon. And they would come over with a blowtorch and just and every time I used to just get so excited. I was like, oh, you guys are so funny with all this. Always glad to know you guys.
You excited about the bacon, or were you excited about the fact you were in Trump's hotel?
All of it, and the fact that they were using torches, and if I ever needed a torch, I just knew I needed to walk down to the front desk and borrow one. It was fantastic.
Right. Room service? Can I get a torch?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's full service. You know what I'm saying? I had one staff person there tell me, they said, as long as it's not illegal, unethical, or immoral, anything goes.
Well, that removes most everything then.
Right?
Morals.
Todd, oh man, you're so fun sometimes,
illegal,
bro.
Unethical? We're in big trouble on this show.
Yep.
That's for sure.
All right. Well,
and immoral.
Yes. That was a fun little heady story, man. Thank you so much, Michael, on that. We're going to roll into our next commercial, and we're going to be right back. Oh, we're going to need to redo the stream deck. I need you guys to play Every Legend. Every Legend.
Okay. Every Legend.
Yeah, I'm not sure what. back, you guys. We are back. Oh, man, and we are going to roll right in. Oh, wait, stop whatever you're doing. Make sure you smash that like button. I know we'll appreciate it. You'll appreciate it, and YouTube will appreciate it. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. And all of the articles that we cover on today's show, you can read directly on our website at www.highatninenews.com. Yep.
Introducing QUX Pay, or simply the Pay app.
Where you can pay like it's nobody's business.
Because it isn't. It's what everyone's been clamoring for. It's finally here.
Secure every payment. Your data stays private. QUX will never sell your data for profit, period. Pay friends, family, contacts instantly. No hidden fees. No limits. Spend on the move.
With this patented technology, you can use debit, credit, bank transfers, cash cards, and even crypto completely offline.
Amounts transferred through the Pay app reach their destination instantly. Transfers in a flash. As quick as sending a text. No more waiting around like crypto. Are you ready for the future of payments? The state of the art for money is finally here.
Data privacy and security protocols trusted by militaries and banks worldwide. QUX Pay, the Pay app.
Available as an app and point of sale system, personal and corporate accounts available. Go to QUXPay.com and start using the Pay app today.
Down below at the toolbar. Oh, and we are back, and we are going to roll right into Mr. Todd Denkin. Todd has been a C-level executive in the cannabis industry and hemp industry since 2009. He successfully launched 2 publicly traded cannabis companies in 2009. Phototron Holdings for all of your home growing needs. And in 2014, Digipath Labs, the #1 cannabis testing lab in the state of Nevada. Todd now hosts Becoming the King of Pot on YouTube and other streaming platforms. It is none other than the golden voice himself, Mr. Todd Denkin.
And the crowd goes wild.
Yes.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you,
are going wild.
everybody out there in At 9 News World. I have a good news story today.
Oh, boy.
For everyone in Ohio. Ohio lawmakers approve a marijuana bill that creates a process to expunge past convictions. Woohoo! Some of the tens of thousands of Ohioans dogged by dated marijuana possession offenses could clear their names under new legislation passed by the State House on Wednesday. The bill would allow expungement, a legal process that erases prior convictions from one's record, which can impair housing and job applications even years later. Only applies for crimes of possessing less than 2.5 ounces of marijuana, which voters legalized in 2023. The expungement provision passed in larger legislation on a bipartisan 87-8 vote that sets new rules on the sale of recreational marijuana and so-called intoxicating hemp marijuana knockoffs. Like they call that. Marijuana knockoffs, right?
Hilarious.
Yeah.
For most of the 21st century, an average of 16,000 Ohioans would be arrested each year. Not necessarily convicted, but definitely arrested, according to FBI data. Numbers began to fall in 2019 when Ohio first allowed for the medical use of marijuana, followed by recreational use in 2023. While President Joe Biden in 2022 issued a blanket pardon for federal marijuana offenses, state-level convictions have festered since then. The House-passed bill paves the way to expungement for many of those convictions lingering in their records. If you smoked a joint when you were 18 in 2002 and in your 40s, you should not have barriers to housing or employment or public services because you got in trouble when you were 18 for something that is completely legal, said Representative Danny Isaac Cohen, the ranking House Democrat, in a floor speech on Wednesday. Expungements didn't go as far as some Democratic lawmakers in the ACLU wanted. Representative Desiree Timms, a Dayton Democrat, said in committee, the bill should have an automatic expungement mechanism, or at least a system to notify affected people that the new option is available. Plus, the application comes with a $50 fee that some people just can't afford. Representative Josh Williams, a Toledo Republican and attorney who regularly champions expungement policy, said in a recent Ohio Supreme Court decision, effectively tied lawmakers' hands on the issue and requires them to leave judges some discretion. However, he said SB 56 gives defendants every advantage possible while still likely passing the court muster. He said in an interview, I think, I'll do it like Jason, I think we tilted the scales in favor of the defendant as much as we could. Quote. Legislative leaders indicated Wednesday that House and Senate members need to negotiate a final package to send to Governor Mike DeWine, a Republican, for his signature. This means the legislation, including the expungement language, could change dramatically from here. Ohio law already allows for expungement for a broad stretch of offenses. However, the new process laid out in SB 56 is tailor-made around marijuana cases. According to House Finance Chairman Brian Stewart, a Republican and key negotiator, a judge is largely forced to grant an application unless the county prosecutor objects. Williams added that the marijuana-specific filings are likely cheaper. The legal test is weighted toward favoring the defendant. To get a conviction expunged, applicants would need to submit paperwork in the courthouse they were convicted in, show their offense stemmed from 2.5 ounces of marijuana or less. Legislation gives county prosecutors who run in partisan elections every 4 years broad discretion to file objections for any reason. From there, judges would have 45 to 90 days to hold a hearing and weigh the two sides against each other. So good luck to everybody there with a marijuana conviction in Ohio. Make sure you get your paperwork filled out, and hopefully the judge will side with you. I'm Todd Denkin with High 9 News, and Michael, I'd love to hear your opinion on this. I know you're a big fan of expungement.
Yeah.
I love a good expungement.
Do you want to go?
No,
Back?
please. I was just saying, I just love a good expungement.
Who doesn't?
You can do a ceiling too, you know.
Yeah.
Not as good as an expungement.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So honestly, anything that progresses these type of issues for people moving forward, I think is helpful. Most time I don't think it goes far enough. Like in Florida, at least, and I guess the question is, what is the basis for the state attorneys to object, or city prosecutors and stuff? Just
for any reason is what it says.
Right. So, that makes it very fluid. In Florida, they have to basically, if you meet the 3 criteria, right, you have a withhold of adjudication, you've never been convicted, you completed your sentence or paid your fine or whatever, or an expungement in Florida, the case has to be dismissed.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't technically have taken a sentence. You can do a pretrial intervention. So unless, they didn't meet one of those criteria, the court has to grant it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I would like to see something like that that's a little bit more focused, and it gives guidance to people as to whether or not, they're wasting their time. And it didn't sound like they have to pay anything to do so. Usually maybe a filing fee or something like that.
I mean, I'm not opposed to a filing fee, but I don't think a lot of people should have to pay for their expungements and whatnot, especially what I'm saying, since these laws have changed and we're trying to go back and revert it. A lot of these people are already victims of low income situations and lack of opportunity in their areas. So I don't want to see them have to pay maybe $1 a page or something like that. You know what I mean? What they would charge you to make a copy of something. I could see something like that being reasonable, but a lot of if it's anywhere near what they would pay as a fine, I wouldn't want to see that.
Well, $50 I think is pretty reasonable. But
yeah,
I agree with you. It shouldn't really cost a lot of money. You should be able to go fill out the paperwork.
Yeah, this should be a public service. You know what I mean? This should be a public service that gets underwritten overall. You know what I'm saying, to help
So
right the wrongs of past instances. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, who's paying?
Yeah.
Nobody's giving them $50 for all the wrongs that were done to them.
Yeah.
Right. So in Florida, you get a front end cost of $75 to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, because in Florida you can't have any adjudication or guilty conviction anywhere in the country, or I guess anywhere. And so it's $75 for that, for them to do like a fingerprint background check, nationwide background check on you. and then it's usually about $60 or so. So in Florida, after your record is expunged, the clerk sends out the order to the agencies that were involved in it, law enforcement agency, etc. And so they have to destroy their records as well. So it's not in different spots, where it's kept at the police station, but it's not there. It's kept at FDLE and it's not at the county clerk. They're supposed to destroy, all the records of it. So those are the costs that they have. So, we're talking about $135. Most people usually get an attorney or go to expungement clinics like we do with our nonprofit sometimes to get those done, to avoid those costs. And usually you have to get the records certified to send into FDLE. So that costs maybe another $10 to $20.
I think this is great news, though, Todd. This is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
This is great news for the citizens of Ohio. I mean, I'm always happy when any jurisdiction is gonna do this and move forward and put one foot in front of the other. You know what I mean, to help get people's lives back. And so this is great news. I'm really glad you chose to cover this story, because usually you bring a lot of bummer news, Todd. This is a happy story.
Oh, we live in a pretty fucked up world. With a lot of bummer news out there in the world.
There is a lot of bummer news, man.
But I'm just saying, thank God for Joe Biden for starting this expungement.
That's so funny.
You'd love that.
Oh, that is priceless. That might be the hardest I laugh all day today, Todd. Just might be. You know what I mean?
But the truth?
Oh man,
it is the truth. I know. He doesn't like the truth.
Joe, I was actually just reading an article today how they're talking about how Joe Biden wasn't running anything in the White House, and how it was all these different staffers that were running everything. And you know what I mean? We all know that Joe wasn't signing with an auto pen. You know what I mean? And so the fact that you even say it is even comical, and I get a big kick out of it. But
under his regime.
Yes, down with his regime, and thank God we got Trump back. Thank God. Man. The world's getting to be a better place.
Yeah, he's got some cabinet around him.
I'm not.
What's up with the Epstein files, by the way?
They're coming, bro. They're coming. Just give it a little bit of time.
So's Christmas.
Hey, Christmas is coming. You are right. Christmas is coming too. But we're gonna have Halloween and Thanksgiving first before we have Christmas, Todd. So you know what I mean. I'm sure we're gonna have that. Some more. Shaking and baking before we ultimately see that.
We'll be at war with Venezuela before we.
We're not gonna be at war. We destroy Venezuela in like 3 seconds, bro. Stop it. You know what I mean? We're already sinking their battleships right now.
Yeah, how do you feel about those fishing boats disguised as drug boats?
Those are drug boats,
being
bro.
Shot out of the water.
I have no problem with it. I'm totally good with it.
How do you know that they're drug boats? Because
I know.
That's what the news says?
No, because I know these things. That's what I do. I do.
How do you know?
I can't disclose all my secrets. It's like being a magician, Todd. You know what I'm saying? A magician doesn't tell you how they do their tricks.
Yeah, that's the problem. They're killing people magically.
Stop it.
I will say, I think that maybe the first one didn't seem to me to look like necessarily a drug boat.
Mm-hmm.
The last couple I've saw recently definitely did look like.
Oh, so if they look like a drug boat, they must be a drug boat.
Looks like a drug boat, moves like a drug boat.
I can't believe that you're saying that, Michael. You're a defender of human rights.
He is.
I'm not saying that.
He's a realist too.
Agree with them. Just the people that are pro-life just killing people because they're trying to save their families, or who knows what a lot of these people are doing it for. But you hear horror stories about what the cartels do to people's families and things like that. When I was over in St. Lucie, there was basically a family with their limbs cut off and on the highway, just left there, and they think it was a cartel hit.
Yep.
That's
what it sounds like.
We really got to look at what these people are doing on these boats, whether or not they're willing participants or their families being held hostage, and maybe not. We have plenty.
Maybe not blow them out of the water. Maybe arrest them and try to figure it out.
I ain't got no problem blowing them out of the water. I'm totally good with it.
Yeah,
totally good. Sinking battleships daily.
Sometimes you say the dumbest shit.
As a whole.
They do. You just say the dumbest shit.
I don't think so. I don't think it's that dumb. I don't think it's that dumb at all, Don. But nonetheless, we're gonna roll into our final. We're gonna roll into our final commercial, and we're gonna be right back. Let's see if this one works.
I just ordered the summertime strawberry salad when added steak on top here at Anna's. Make sure you do the same thing too next time you're in downtown Long Beach. Come on down and check out Anna's joint on the 400 block of Pine Street. They have amazing selection of beers, foods, and when you come down here to Anna's, you can even challenge me to a game of shuffleboard if you want to lose. Did you get that? So, next time you're in downtown Long Beach on Pine Avenue, make sure you stop by Anna's Joint on the 400 block. Not only do they have Anna's Joint, this restaurant and bar, but they also have the amazing deli next door, and then next door to that, they have a very exotic flower shop. You may want to stop by and say hi.
Oh, yes, and we are back, and I have two fantastic stories for you today to close out this show with. And Todd, you just took us to Ohio, and so we're going to be stuck in the Buckeye State. You know what I mean? Because, and this is good news for Ohio. I got more good news for Ohio, you guys. More good news because the THC drink. That's right. The hemp sales in Ohio, they can continue as a court extends the block on the ban inflicted by the governor. That's right. The sale of THC drinks and intoxicating hemp products can continue for now after a Franklin County judge has extended a temporary block against the emergency ban. The ban, which was set to take effect October 14th, has been blocked by a restraining order as oral arguments are being heard. It comes after Fumi Smoke and Vape, Evidica Nutraceuticals, and Titan Logistics Group filed a civil lawsuit against DeWine and the Ohio Department of Agriculture. The restraining order issued on October 14th was set to expire on Tuesday, that being today, but now it has been extended until December 2nd. That means you can buy all of your hemp beverages all throughout Halloween and all throughout Thanksgiving as the court process continues to play out. DeWine first announced the ban earlier this month aimed at synthetic and intoxicating hemp products that are simply dangerous, he says. He said that the order did not apply to non-intoxicating hemp products or legal marijuana sold in licensed dispensaries. Intoxicating hemp is a product containing more than 0.5 milligrams per serving or totaling more than 2 milligrams of any type of THC per package. No more than 0.5 milligrams per serving or totaling more than 2 milligrams per package of Delta 8, Delta 9, THCA, and or any other THC in total, they say. These products can include synthesized hemp items that have been sold at gas stations and convenience stores under names like Weed Tarts and Stoner Patch Gummies, as well as certain THC beverages. The order was set to last for 90 days as lawmakers were to decide whether to extend it or let it expire after the 90 days. And meanwhile, Ohio lawmakers are trying to regulate the sale of hemp products in the state. A new bill would create licensed hemp dispensaries, and the shops would be allowed to sell THC gummies and other hemp products, but only to those 21 and older would be allowed to purchase them. Well. I don't think anyone's not opposed to that. 21 and older is fine. I think age gates are appropriate. I don't really have a problem with that, but I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. This is great news for the hemp industry that they got this day through December 2nd in the great state of Ohio. What do you think? And
what happens on December 3rd?
Well, maybe they'll kick the puck down the road. We're gonna have to wait, but we'll probably get that news next month in November, Todd.
Yeah, but it's hard to create a business model based on the fact that it might get kicked down the road and it might last long.
You know what I have to say about that, Todd? Well,
no, I have no idea.
Go ahead, Michael.
I don't know.
I was going to say what I have to say about that as far as all these people complaining about, oh, it's so hard to create a business model, da. Wah. The reality of it is that no one on earth is promised tomorrow. So just be glad with what you have today. That's what I have to say, Todd.
And,
that's a great way to build a business.
Go ahead, Michael.
The cannabis industry is like that right now. The food industry may be like that if RFK gets some of his wishes.
Exactly.
But
I'll probably add vaccines or something.
He's gonna.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He's gonna have
He
tiger
loves the
blood.
vaccines. He doesn't like the Maha movement. You know, I don't know how you can not agree with being healthier.
Yeah.
But so back to the article. Usually when a judge finds an injunction and issues one, he's going to keep that injunction open typically until either one of two things: it's appealed and reversed, or the case is resolved on its merits, and either party wins or loses, right? So it would be unusual that if they didn't apply for it, if the case isn't resolved or whatever the injunction for the period of time it was temporarily, it's usually for arguments to occur or an appeal to happen. Will 99% of the time, obviously they'll request to extend the temporary injunction, it'll get extended. And I know it's not guaranteed, but I think they can definitely probably believe that it will be
definitely
if
probably
the case isn't resolved.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Michael. I think if they ask for an extension and kick it down the road, they're gonna abide by that and just keep kicking it down the road. I don't see them not doing that.
Yeah,
but is kicking it down the road really the way to govern, or should they just make some rules?
Well, I agree with you that they should make some rules. Go ahead, Michael, please.
So this is a court issue, so that's up to the legislature, right, on making the rules, or the department making rules consistent with what the law should be. And this is going around country through country, every state regularly, and most of the time they're finding that states can do whatever they want, as opposed to the feds being able to, control the market and say, hey, hemp is legalized, it can be sold everywhere. So those issues are, but no, you're right. Kicking it down the road is just exactly that. So in a month later, it could be abolished as well, or 2 months later. But at least it gives the operators that time to continue to be able to operate. And now December 2nd, so they're looking at a month plus. And I would expect they would file anything a week before. Believe me, we're seeing so many issues in the hemp space right now, especially around packaging. People read our law and they say, oh yeah, that packaging fine. And then it gets over here and it gets confiscated and people get fined, and the retailers are the ones that are held to blame for it, and not necessarily the manufacturers, even though those regulations to me are just like so basically, whatever inspector walks in there, whatever they think is going to be what it is, regardless. There's no like coherent implication from store to store with inspector to inspector. So it's already a moving target here in Florida, and it's really disgusting.
Fair enough. What do you, any?
I mean, it gives operators a chance to sell their product that they've already made.
Well,
right, but not going to really restock the shelves. I know.
I'm sure. Well, I think they'll order smaller. They'll order smaller sizes instead of these bigger, larger orders. So that way they don't have to worry about ordering for a month or two. And
just saying, the manufacturers of this stuff, I don't believe they're going to manufacture with a can being cooked down the road.
They're definitely going to manufacture, bro. What's that, Michael?
I was just talking to a buddy of mine about this yesterday with regards to going to the child-proof packaging here in Florida, right? So all the hemp companies have to change over. And even if they had bought ones before the rule went into effect, if they still had them on their shelves, they were getting stop-saled and fined. But, the issue with small batching is when you're buying your containers and things like that, you're not getting the same price breaks, right? If you're buying only a couple hundred versus 500 versus 1,000. And he actually had someone who was working with an operator saying the same thing here. One of the MMTCs mentioning the same thing about the packaging with them continuing to change and not being able to buy, 20,000 units and having to buy and pay more for 10,000 units. So it's it makes it very challenging. And, in a free market society, rules shouldn't be put into place to put people out of business. And that's what's happening in this space.
Exactly. I'm with you on that. Open up the damn market, let people just, operate and You know what I mean? Sell products because people are buying them. If let the market decide. If people aren't buying them, people aren't going to be making them. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. Let the market regulate itself.
Never mind. Right after the president promotes them.
Yeah, it's very true. Very, very true. Shout out to Truth Social. Well.
Oh, God.
I can't help myself sometimes,
There's no
Todd.
truth in Truth Social.
Oh man, it's so much fun having you on Tuesdays, bro. I so enjoy this, Todd.
The endocannabinoid video was truth.
Yeah, that was all truth. We know it. Todd doesn't want to admit it, even though Todd knows the endocannabinoid system is real. But if it's on Truth Social, it's obviously fake.
Well, I haven't seen the endocannabinoid system on Truth Social. I'm shocked to even hear.
Oh yeah.
It was on there.
The boss posted a video all about it the other day, last week or a week or two ago. Yeah.
Is he your boss? Your boss?
Right. Well.
Yeah, he's the boss of the country.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he? Aren't the people? Don't the people run the country? Right.
We the people have appointed him as the boss of the country. To do things on our behalf.
Legislature is definitely our boss. 100%.
See,
my boss.
Worse than a boss. Worse than a boss. You have to go home and not have to worry about them at work. But the government, they're boss 24/7.
Yep.
I guess it's called dictator, but
the shoe fits.
I'm about all government, not
the
just,
shoe fits.
Oh man.
Any government. There was crazy rules and regulations under every president that we've had since the Controlled Substance Act went into effect.
Yep, that is true too.
Maybe even go back to the 1937 Tax Act. So,
very true.
Yeah.
But this guy's crushing our economy. 1 million people are out of work. We're all of our health care is being tripled by the end of the month. So,
that's the only reason the health care is going to be tripled, Todd, is because the Democrats won't come back and vote on a balanced budget bill.
It's not true at all.
It's 100% true. They want to pay for health care for illegals, bro. That's their whole thing.
No, they don't.
Yes,
it's not
do.
even a law. It's not.
It is.
The law
says it is.
Illegals can't get service.
It's not true.
Jesus
That's
Christ,
not true.
You guys and your
it's not
talking
true.
points.
It's not true, Todd. It's not true.
My God.
Oh, they definitely get benefits.
The illegals get tons of benefits, bro.
They don't get benefits. They shouldn't get benefits. I agree with you, right?
Hey.
But that is a year of healthcare.
Yeah.
Of like all healthcare that they get. It's crazy. And I only know this from my wife.
You get emergency room care only, like every human.
Hold on, Todd. Let Michael finish.
No, they do not.
That's not the case, Todd. That's not the case. That's not the case.
Everything.
Yeah.
Dental.
Yeah. The whole kit and caboodle. They get more insurance than I get.
They do. They really do.
Just as well.
It's only like a year or whatever, but it's they get a good amount of support that most Americans don't.
It's very true. Very, very true. Well,
whatever. You guys just.
It's all good. We love you, Todd. We love you, Todd.
No one wants to take care of the Americans either. So when you
I'm all about taking care of the Americans.
Show us the deal that takes care of. Are we taking care of the American farmer by sending all of our soybeans
subsidies
that they're not buying?
Well,
right?
actually, Todd,
we're buying all the Argentinian beef. So now our beef farmers are going out of business.
Hold on, Todd.
I'm way on you on that.
In relation with the whole soybean argument, President Trump just yesterday signed a deal with our good ally Prime Minister Sanae Takahashi. For Japan to be purchasing large amounts of our soybeans, and so we're diverting the market. So that's a great positive thing for our farmers.
50%. What is Japan now going to?
Japan, I'm telling you, Japan's going to fill that void, Todd. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. It's going to be huge. It's going to be amazing.
Going to be huge.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes.
It's going to be huge.
Huge. Yeah.
Yeah. People are telling me. People are telling me that they love it. That they love it.
Todd, you do that so good.
I'm the best.
You do that so good.
Jerk off two guys dance.
You do that so good, Todd. Oh man, I'm gonna roll into this final story before maybe I lied. Maybe that was a harder laugh than earlier, but man, you guys, the Minnesota cannabis business licenses are being resold as regulators dwindle. You guys, that's right. Roughly 1,400 Minnesota cannabis businesses are waiting for final regulator approval to enter the market. more than a month after the first non-tribal sale. In the meantime, the few cannabis licenses that are available are selling for 7 figures, or 100 times the permit's face value, according to Fox affiliate KMSP. State law caps the number of certain permits available, and in a situation, one Minnesota marijuana entrepreneur compared to ticket scalping. Available cultivator and retailer permits are selling for more than $1 million, the television station reported. And Minnesota cannabis businesses wait for sale while approvals are waiting, because according to KMSP, at least 80 licenses have been advertised for sale in Minnesota, where non-tribal sales began in last September. That despite the state still having only a fraction of the 1.5 million square feet of cultivation space required to service the market. Eric Tubel, director of the state's Office of Cannabis Management, said recently that one example of the 80 licenses for sale is a Wendy's restaurant location in Roseville that has city approval for one of 3 retail licenses allowed in the town, and KMSP reported on that as well. But sales in Minnesota could reach $430 million by the end of 2026, according to an MJ Biz daily fact book projection. License transfers are legal, but they're subject to the OCM's approval, and only 60 Minnesota marijuana business licenses have been issued as of today. And as of earlier this month, state regulators had issued only 60 permits for businesses. An additional 1,411 have received preliminary approval, but still await final clearance, according to state data. And only 2 of the licensed businesses are cultivators, though 13 of 52 licensed micro businesses can cultivate. But critics say that the license speculation is the result of licenses being issued via lottery rather than on a merit-based scored application. But Minnesota cannabis entrepreneurs may also be taking advantage of early market interest, you guys. Well. Sounds like Minnesota is the new hot market for cannabis licenses, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. And isn't Minnesota the state that Target is launching beverages in 17 stores too? Man, Minnesota's the hot spot right now.
Yeah, except for the Vikings.
What's that?
Vikings aren't very
well. The Vikings have never really been that good in the first place.
So I think it's interesting, and I think we're seeing this when these new markets come on board, right? Same thing kind of happened in Kentucky. People are selling their licenses for 3-4 times the, kind of what they got them for. So I'm not surprised, realistically. I wonder if it'll be more newer companies that get in there as opposed to, some of these multi-state operators or not. It'll be interesting, but not surprised at all. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at the market up there.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean,
and I think you should be able to sell your license if you want to sell your license.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
How it sounds to me is they're processing, they're approving these sale transfers faster than they're approving the applicants that receive the other licenses. So that's pretty interesting, pretty telling.
I mean, some people bought a license in order to sell it. You know what I mean?
Or they
it's just business.
Yeah, and I think it's funny that the people are complaining. They're like, oh, these licenses were issued based off of lottery and not based off of merit. I mean, half the time, most of the people that get it by merit are really unqualified. They can just put together a good application, so it's not really based off of merit either in the first place. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with that type of a scoring rubric to determine who gets these licenses, because a lot of it you can promise the world and not deliver a single thing and still get the license.
Yeah,
We prefer bribes to take place instead of a merit-based system.
I would say
the merit-based system.
That is the merit-based system. I totally agree with that.
I mean,
it happened here in Nevada when Department of Taxation was in charge of this program. Yeah, Jorge Pupo was the head of the division. Was indicted for taking bribes. for when we were going recreational.
Yep. There's been a lot of people that have been. We've covered a lot of stories of different politicians accepting bribes over the years. Here, Todd, here at High at 9 News.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the contrary, but I'm going to say that I feel that the lottery is probably the most fair way for people to obtain licenses over the merit base, because the merit base is just generally it's like, hey, these people paid off this commissioner, that commissioner, whatnot, and they got told how to do the application, so then that way their application would score higher than everybody else's, and that's how a lot of these things have been issued a lot of the time. And so I'm not necessarily a fan of that.
Yeah. I hate the lottery system, though. I think the lottery system is stupid. What other business do you have to win a lottery in order to go into business?
Alcohol,
That's
taxi
how they
medallions,
give away alcohol licenses in Florida.
Yep, taxi medallions
when they're back to the state.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, you can sell them too. But no, I honestly, I think the fairest way is the lottery system.
Mm-hmm.
We even after our first round of lawsuits, right? After the first licenses, all 20 or whatever, those many people that didn't have licenses through our merit-based application system ended up getting licenses through the court or through the legislature.
Mm-hmm.
And then even the second round of licenses that we just had, there was 75 applicants and 23. There was like 40 of them or whatever that are suing based on the BS of the merit-based system. And I don't think when you really look at a merit-based system, I think there should be basic criteria that they have to meet, right?
Exactly.
Of course, no doubt about that. But when you look at the merit-based system, like Jason was saying, filling out an app, you're like, okay, who's the best in the country and how much do I have to pay them to put their name on the app? Like they're,
exactly
a part of the industry and stuff. So, and then when you're looking at, cultivation techniques, the person is like, okay, who's the better grower here? When they have no idea, when it's just hard to evaluate that on any single basis. But
that's why there shouldn't be any limit to these licenses. There shouldn't be a limit.
Yes,
right?
sir.
I agree with that too.
Let someone open a business. You know what I mean? It's
yes.
Why is it a privileged license? Why is this special thing?
We agree. Well, we all agree on that, Todd. We all agree on that.
Oh, we got to end on this agreement then. Holy moly!
Well, hold on. I have one thing to say in regards with Michael's comment is like, in that whole application process, like, oh, we have the best master grower who is gonna grow the finest strains for procurement at our store, and these people don't even have a definition for master grower. You know what I mean? Like it's so ridiculous, the hoopla that I see in a lot of these applications. It
was a term that became overused because of the.
Well, there's no certification. It's a self-certification thing. It's like people call.
It is.
It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. It's like a lot of people that call themselves cannabis consultants. Same thing. You know what I mean? A lot of these people just I know about weed and haven't never sprouted a plant, let alone walked into ran a business or anything, and all of a sudden all this. Like, get the hell out of here. These people are crazy.
A lot of cannabis companies, went out of business because, garage grower Mike, who called himself a master grower, couldn't scale to a 20,000-foot warehouse.
Couldn't even install an air conditioner in his garage.
That's right.
Exactly. Well,
I agree.
Well. And on that, thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific and high noon on the East Coast. And big shout out to our audience and supporters for tuning in daily and listening to the insanity that is the developing cannabis industry. Huge thank you to Catalyst Cannabis for helping us keep the lights on over here. And thank you to our correspondents for being absolutely amazing. Thank you to Cannabis Sativa L for giving us a reason to do this every day. And Cloud Media partners Elias and Gabriel are somewhere in the metaverse. And thank you all for tuning in and getting high at 9 with us. We are America's #1 daily cannabis news show.